What a mighty God. You're the mighty God we serve. What a mighty God. Oh, you're the mighty God. What a mighty God. What a mighty God. You're the mighty God. You're the mighty God. Yeah. What a mighty God. You are faithful. What a mighty God. You are true. What a mighty God. We are so in love with you. What a mighty God. You sit high. You're the mighty God. You look low. What a mighty God. We can trust you, Jesus. Yeah. What a mighty God. What a mighty God. Yeah. What a mighty God. You're the mighty God. We trust you, God, able to heal, able to save, never fail, never change. Amazing God, amazing King, my best friend. What a mighty God, what a mighty God. You're a mighty provider. You're a mighty protector. You're a mighty healer. You're a mighty deliverer. You're a strong deliverer. Yes, sir. You're a strong deliverer. And we give you glory. 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 You are the mighty. You are the mighty. You're the mighty God. You are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are.
Connecting the community through gospel.
The new 107.9 FM, W300EB,
Macon and WDDO 980 AM
Perry.
Macon. Connecting the community through gospel.
The new 107.9 FM, W300EB,
Macon and WDDO 980 AM
Perry.
Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
welcome. Hello there. This is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, welcoming you to Ask Elaine. It's Wednesday. It's wonderful outside except for the pollen. Oh, it's got my head going. I know a number of other people have told me that it's getting them as well. Well, they make a lot of different medicines for it. And so just do like I do and get on that medicine and the air will soon clear out and we'll all be better. But I'm glad you've chosen to join us today. We've already got a bunch of folks already in the chat. My son Leonard, Traveler Lucas Sr., who developed the theme song for Ask Elaine. He's on the line. Randy Crawford is on there. Deborah Israel. That's a new name. She's probably been on with us, but that's the first time that she said hello in the chat. So we welcome all of you. If you've tuned in, please let somebody else know that they're about to miss a wonderful program, one where you always get smarter. So we thank you for tuning in. We want to express our condolences to the families of those who've lost loved ones. We can't put ourselves in your place because everybody's hurt is different, but we just know that it's not a good feeling. And so we join with you in expressing our sympathy, our deepest condolences to you and your family if you've lost loved ones. And for those who've had happy occasions, we want to congratulate you. New baby, a marriage, maybe a divorce, depending on how the situation was. You could be happy or sad. So we express our good wishes and send our good vibes to those of you who've had good experiences, and we want to share those with you. There's a lot going on in this community, and very soon we're going to be joined by Kimberlyn Carter, who is the executive director of Rep Georgia. It's an organization that functions to help recruit people to run for office, and it gives that assistance to those folks as they navigate what is a tricky kind of thing in some cases. And we'll talk a little bit about it. And we encourage you to let us know your feelings on some of the things that have been reported on with some of the candidates who are running for office. And your opinion is your opinion. And we want to hear what you have to say. If you want to call us at 478-250-1444. 478-250-1444. We'd love to hear your comments. We'd love to see your questions in the chat. Those who are listening on radio, on AM, FM, call us. The number is the same for you, 478-250-1444. Please do that. Your Senator Lucas, is hard at work on duty for us at the state capitol under the gold dome at the state senate, and we have our special guest Kimberlyn coming in. We're so glad to see her come in. Hey, Kimberly.
Hello.
It's good to have you here.
Sorry, I'm tardy. I had to.
That's okay. We are glad to have her here. As you can tell, our very special guest is none other than Kimberlyn Carter, who is the executive director of Rep Georgia. And she's going to talk about the things that her organization is doing statewide nationwide, to encourage and support people who want to run for office, who have a sincere desire to represent you in an open, honest way. And then we're going to talk about Fonnie These folks ate Herbert Denard alive a few weeks ago.
What?
He was on here talking about funny,
Not my friend.
yes, our friend Herbert.
I
And
was just
I
with her last
know
week.
some people, oh, listen,
I was
some
just
people,
on a briefing
uh-huh,
yesterday.
and they never quit. They will not leave her alone. And I just want to say to you
Oh, what did
that,
Herbert Denard say?
oh, Herbert was talking about
I
she
hope
made a mistake.
Can everybody see my
She
cherry blossom lipstick? Okay.
I can see it, Kim. It looks very
Just
nice.
checking. Just
But yeah,
want to be in the season.
yeah, and we want to say hello to my sister Nita. Says
Hi, Nita. Bring
good
me a cake.
evening. That's not the cake
Oh, that's not the
lady.
that's right. That's
That's
not the cake
Beverly,
lady.
the cake lady. But
Well, Nita, can you tell the cake lady to bring me a cake?
we want to say hello to Geraldine Woodford.
Hi, Geraldine
Yeah,
Woodford.
she says she lost a brother on
Oh, my
yesterday.
condolences.
So
My
our deepest
condolences.
sympathy. Yeah. So we've got a lot of good folks on here, and we just encourage you who are on Facebook on the Glory Live to like and share and encourage and remind other people to tune in to Ask Elaine. This is your weekly talk and information program. We welcome you. We welcome your comments. Um, yeah, and others on here can share in the life experiences of different people. So,
Oh, well, wait a minute now, Commissioner. They're telling me that congratulations are in order. You received some awards. This is award season. They've been doing the Oscars, the Grammys, the
yeah,
Tonys are coming up. So tell me what kind of
well,
awards you've been out
we
here
really felt
receiving now.
really not rich, but we felt famous.
Okay.
Yeah, there have been different community organizations and church groups and
Okay.
things that have come together that have presented programs where the senator and I were
Okay.
there
Okay.
because they said that with David serving almost 50 years
Mm-hmm.
in the legislature and with my service of almost 40 years, that they just wanted to say that they appreciated what we
Oh,
had tried to do.
I love it.
And that was just wonderful. The senator got real emotional. My eyes
Did
were wet all
he?
the way through
Wow.
the programs. But these folks don't have to do anything. They don't have to say anything. But because they did, and different ones presented proclamations. Congressman Bishop
Wow.
was there,
Okay. Okay.
and the mayor was there. Um, Different ministerial groups were there. The Evangelical Ministers Alliance.
Okay.
Leon Ward is the new president. He
Oh,
was there,
oh, oh,
and
he's a
yeah,
great person.
he
Great
is.
and an even greater teacher
Yeah,
of he has one of the best
he
Bible
is. He
studies
is.
in the city.
Yeah, and the Reverend Willie Finney
Oh,
Sr.,
the
and
cathedral, honey, the
yeah,
cathedral.
and David Stanley were the ones who spearheaded
Oh,
the
that's
East
that's
Macon
big time there
ministers.
now. That's
Yeah,
big time then.
and guess what? They said, well, we put on here love offering because we didn't ask y'all because you probably would have said no, and
I'm so glad they did
we
y'all
would
like
have.
that.
But guess what we did? We took the very generous contributions and we set up the East Macon Church's scholarship fund at EL High School Academy.
Oh,
And what we're going
wow.
to do is to look through our files. We have a number of students at EL Academy who
Okay.
did not finish
Okay.
because of
Okay.
financial reasons. And so what we're going to do
Okay.
is to use that money to get as many of our students finished with their high
That's
school
great.
diploma as
That's
possible.
great.
Then Sunday, I was the guest speaker, and I enjoyed it so much over at Historic Progressive Baptist Church
Oh, wow.
on Second Street.
Oh, that's one.
Reverend
Oh,
Isom Evans is the pastor,
okay.
and they presented an honorarium. We are taking that and we're creating the Progressive Baptist Church Scholarship.
Oh, well, that's
And we're
wonderful.
going to use it to get students finished with their program, especially those who only need a few courses to finish their high school program. So, and at our next graduation in June, June 29th at St. Peter's Baptist Church,
Mm-hmm.
we will be recognizing those groups
Okay.
who have contributed to the scholarship fund for these
Ah, that's
students to
great.
finish.
That's
So
great.
that's yeah.
Oh my goodness. I see that. Let me tell you. So, my mother is a retired educator like
Uh-huh.
you, and she still has favorite students who were just amazing. And so, Adwa Denise Anderson is
Uh-huh.
one of her favorite students
Oh,
in the whole
okay.
wide world. And
Yeah,
I think the world of her also.
that is great.
Hey, sister. Hey, sister.
We're
So, thank
glad to
you.
have her
It's so
on.
good to see you
Uh-huh.
on here. Next year, I will be in Ghana
Oh,
for 2 weeks. I'll be there for the Afro Soul Fest. I'll be there for another global residency for women in politics, and also I will be there on March 6th, which is Ghana's Independence
uh-huh.
Day. So I hope you'll be over there, sister. We can hang out
Oh,
and get us
that's
some good
wonderful.
jollof rice, and I can go to the village and meet. You know, she actually is of Ghanaian royalty.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
she is, and so and I keep saying the next
Oh,
time I'm
yes.
on the
I
continent,
know.
I need to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure that I stop by. But so
Yes.
good to
We
see her.
recognized her at the
Yeah,
commission
she's
meeting.
amazing.
Yeah.
And look, I brought VIP tickets to see my one of my dad's favorite young men, Jerry Anderson's
The
film
play.
premiere,
Uh-huh.
uh, and um, and I was in the hospital and
Uh.
couldn't even make it. So y'all got to do another screening for me, Adwa. So tell Jerry y'all got to do a whole nother screening. I want the red carpet, popcorn, the cameras, the paparazzi, everything.
All right,
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
All right. We also
Jerry
want to welcome.
is one of my favorite stories
Yeah, yeah.
of
We've had him
he's one of
actually,
my
Herbert
favorite
interviewed.
triumph stories. He's one of my favorite I don't look like what I've been through
Yeah,
stories.
yeah.
So please give my brother my love. Give my brother my love.
All
All
right.
right, Deborah Israel is ready to just bring it on in. She's like, "What's the
Uh-huh.
qualifications for
Okay.
becoming a mayor
Let's
down here?"
welcome Jeanette Goff. And did we miss anyone else?
I
I want to
don't know,
make
but it
sure
looks
those.
like these folks ready. Like
Oh,
that
they
Keith
are.
Sweat
They are.
song said,
Let's talk
it looks
about
like
mayor.
y'all are ready. Like
Okay.
Bishop Jake says, get ready. Because I got on my Represent Georgia Action Network t-shirt. So I'm in my
Yeah,
501
you're ready. You're
C4
ready.
mode. So I can C4 mode. So I can talk about anybody and their
Okay.
mama today.
I'm going to pump the brakes so we can answer this. What are the qualifications to become mayor? Well, the qualifications, there are age qualifications. You have to be a resident, of course, of the county. And since we're making BIB and we're consolidated, you have to be a resident. You have to be, it has some comment, some statements about of good character and not have been convicted of this or that. But those are
Yes,
the
can't have any
general
crimes of moral
requirement.
turpitude.
Yeah. Yeah. And so she makes this comment that what I have been seeing this week is a disgrace. And I'm sure she has reference to the fact that one of our candidates for the sheriff has been assessed a 130 plus $1,000 fine slash payment that he has made. That's Mr. Chris Paul, who has to pay that because he was found guilty or did not respond to the lawsuit that stated that there were four employees who were not paid overtime.
Oh
In
Lord.
other words, he was in violation of
Oh
labor
oh
laws,
well let me
and he was also assessed
Lord,
attorney's
does the
fees.
Glory radio station have any cups in here? Cause look like we pouring tea.
Oh, well, we're pouring something. Okay, and then there are two candidates that the Board of Elections is going to determine whether these two who are running for sheriff have in fact qualified. There are additional qualification requirements for those who are running for sheriff?
Well, let me just say this. First of all, thank you again, Commissioner
Thank you for
Lucas,
being here.
for having us here. And some of the work that I am engaged in, we do ready to run orientations for
Right.
people who are
How
thinking
long have
about
you been
running
doing
for
them here
office.
in Macon-Bibb County?
Let's see. The first one we actually did here in Macon, and that's when I was the chair of the board. Was, oh my goodness, that was 2018.
It's been years.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
been
2018,
years.
2018.
But
But
there's
but
some
but but
people
but
who say that nobody has mentored me. There's nobody that's been there to encourage me. I have been saying, if you want to run for, I've been saying it for years. After a while, some of us won't be able to run or won't want to run anymore. So those of you who are truly committed to this community, you need to start getting ready.
and
By getting
yeah,
ready, Kim, we meant read the qualifications,
yeah,
read the requirements, go through all of the steps that you have to follow in
yeah,
order to qualify to
yeah.
run for office. Why would you
and
run
and
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 you not
here
know?
yeah and here is the other thing too, and this is something that I just strongly suggest to folks. If you're thinking about running for office, look, even if you're thinking about moving up in a promotion in your job, you need to give yourself at least a year or two
To get
years,
ready. Yeah.
because a lot of times what happens to people when they get caught up in issues during qualifying is because you have rushed to run for office,
Yeah.
and and
And you
and
missed
you're
some
trying to
stuff.
run over there and get a check in,
Uh-huh.
or run over
Uh-huh.
there to get your
But there's more to
the
it.
affidavits and all that kind
Mhm.
of thing. And so that is why, my organization, that's why we do pre-qualifying workshops, ready to run orientations. Not for, the ones that we've done last year and this year. Hey, it's not necessarily for people who getting ready to run next week, but but
Yeah.
but it's really designed for people, to help to give people a path. But we stress heavily, there is nothing more important than the compliance side of politics.
Right.
And if you're going to run for office or any type of elected office, you just have to be on top of what those qualifications are.
Right.
And then, and speaking of, State Senator Lucas, I salute him always. Then you have to be paying attention to what's going on in Atlanta,
Yeah.
because oftentimes things are changed in our charters, things are changed to how constitutional offices are done. So take, for instance, the sheriff's election.
Right.
Now they have two affidavits that they have to sign. You have to get, your fingerprints done. You have to get a background check.
Right.
You have to do a personal financial disclosure that's due within 50 days of you even qualifying to run for office. So all of those things, are super, super critical that you're paying attention to. If you're running for school board, it's the same thing. Not only do you have to do your qualifying application, but there's a special affidavit that you have to sign when you're running for a school board seat, because there are certain things that you can't have in your past to be a part of, to be
Right.
on a
Right.
school board and things of
Right.
that nature. And trust me, we're even working on some of these laws too about moral turpitude and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is, it is a lot.
Okay.
And
Coroner is on the
oh,
line.
okay.
Let's get the coroner in. Leon Jones was our special guest last week. We had
Well,
a
I'm
wonderful
sorry I
show.
missed it, but I'm
Um,
always glad that he misses me, because
Coroner,
that means I'm on the
me
right
too.
side of the
Me too.
soil.
Me too. You talking about nervous when he calls because he keeps you up to date on stuff, but
You'd
you
be like,
just,
at least I
oh
can
my.
hear him.
Coroner Jones, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon, ladies. How y'all doing today?
Good
Welcome to
afternoon.
Ask Elaine.
Hey, I understand what you and Kim were saying, but a lot of people just don't know that when they try
They don't
to
know
run.
the requirements
They
for.
don't know a lot of procedures. Now, when I first ran for coroner in '04, I developed an advisory team. Of course, the senator was on that team.
Yeah.
The senator, Robert Brown, Albert Billingsley, Bill Barnes, and Miss Evans was my senior campaign chairman. We even hired a girl from MAZ to teach me how to talk on camera, to
Uh-huh.
teach me how to do interviews. And we used to meet twice a week in the basement of Miss Evans' house. Well, a lot of people don't know those things, Commissioner.
Yeah.
I mean, they just don't know. A lot of people will run, and they have good intentions in mind, but they just don't know. I understand what you and Kim are saying. A lot of people just don't know to contact people to get advice on these things.
Right.
I'll give you a case in point. During the election, Sheila had a caravan. I had a Leon Jones for coroner magnet on it. I pulled up to the polling place
No,
at
you.
Eugene and Hamilton. Okay, yeah, I did. Al Davis, Deacon Davis, that live on the corner of Key Street and Key Circle. He ran out. He said, "You need to move the van or take the sign off. You're
Uh,
in violation." That could
uh,
have been a violation right there.
uh-huh.
A
Yeah.
lot of people just don't know. A lot of people just don't know. And so whatever's going to happen is going to happen anyway. I mean,
Well, that's
when,
why we
when
try
you
to
just,
provide as much information as we can in this hours program each week because we know that there's a lot of information that people don't have. And so we try to get out as much as we can. We do handouts all over the community at churches and encouraging people, organizations like Kim's and others and the NAACP provide encouragement to people. Go and look. And people who are running for the commission, any of them who have asked me, I've always said to them, please go read the charter, pull the sections dealing with the qualifications for the commission, read the section that deals with your duties and responsibilities, and you will
absolutely.
find out the information that you need. Number of us have tried. It's unfortunate that there are some people who are under scrutiny now because there were some requirements that they did not meet. And by the way, the Board of Elections, Macon Bear Board of Elections, is going to meet very soon and make a decision as to whether to disqualify two of the candidates who are running for sheriff. There's six of them in the race, and four of them apparently, got the email, they got the information, and there were two that unfortunately did not. And so that's unfortunate, but I think it's going to raise the awareness and ensure that not only do the candidates do a little bit more research, but also those entities that are tasked with qualifying candidates. I think you're going to see.
Absolutely. I fully agree on what you're saying. But let's move along to something else that's important. Voting is one thing Macon has plenty of. That's churches and Dollar Generals.
You're right.
Every church, every pastor in this community, every preacher, every organization should emphasize the importance of voting. It is got to be voting. It has never been more important than it is now.
Yeah.
They got to put it out there. That should be the first thing they talk about when they get in the pulpit. The importance of voting. The church has always been a rock for the black community.
That's
It's always been. It's always been. As long as I can remember. Voting is very important. If you can stay in a nightclub all night long, you can stay in the board election 32 minutes.
Yeah, that part. Hmm.
Listen, I'm through preaching because I
Oh,
don't
you bring the correct information. We love what
I
you
tell
have.
the truth, uncut, unfiltered. Tell the truth.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Tell
the
the
only
truth.
way to go.
Voting is important. That's right. Voting is important.
It is.
People know how I feel about voting.
That's
Okay.
how people get in office.
For
That's
years
how
we
they
can
get
hear the
elected.
same thing. The same thing, Commissioner. They gonna do what they want to do anyway. Who they?
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give somebody else an opportunity to call. Thank you for what you do. Congratulations on your honor. You and the senator. KC, I don't never call her Kim. I call her KC. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you so
Yes, thank you
much.
so much.
Our
Thank you
coroner,
so
one of the
much.
most popular people in this community.
Thank
My
you,
sister
Coroner.
says it's really no excuse not to know the qualifications. That's what you do before you run. That's the homework. And that is important.
Well, I'm definitely inclined to agree with her. There is, there is a great deal of work and research and homework that you have to do when you're, when you're going to run for office. But I also want us to all be very clear on something else. And that is that elections are locally administered in this state. Even though we have a Secretary of State, elections are locally administered. And our Board of Elections is also supposed to be an education center. And so across the state, I deal with Board of Elections, all types of different boards of elections. And a lot of them, Cobb County, Gwinnett, even down in Dougherty County, which is in Albany, Southwest Georgia, Miss Dolly. Hey, Miss Dolly. I mean, these directors actually do webinars. They
Yeah.
do pre-sessions and everything to help and to talk about what the qualifying period is
Right.
going to look like,
Right.
what is needed and what is done. And so we pay for these Board of Elections to work as taxpayers. So we should be able to certainly, ask about what type of education programming they have as
Right.
well. It's not just the responsibility of community people or political people or
Right.
folks who are politicos.
Right.
It's the responsibility of the Board of Elections as well. And it's not just about, oh, we've sent out an email. No, that information should be available on their website. They should be doing webinars. They should be doing sessions as well. So I just wanted to say that. And then let me just
seminars
and then
have you done? How many?
but oh no,
have you
I just
done
want
in
to
the
add one more
community?
culprit in this too, and that's the local party. It is also the local political party. It is also their responsibility to provide some of this
And
information
they
to help
have,
people to know.
but you
And I
had
understand
a
that
handful of
that
people
and
to
I know
come.
that they did
Yeah,
some
they did
recruitment
some. Yeah.
sessions and all of that. So and then let me just go on and be real with it.
Mhm.
There's something called Google.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna drop the mic. They can turn my mic off
We
because
Google Anthony
there's
Hamilton and all of
there's
that
something
stuff.
called Google,
Yeah.
and I can assure you, that you can definitely Google all this stuff
Right.
is
What are the
available
qualifications to run for
via
sheriff?
for
What
Google.
do you have to? What is
Absolutely,
required to
absolutely,
run
and
for
and
this, that, and
and
the
I'm gonna be
other?
honest with you. I peeked in a little bit on that on the last sheriff debate or forum,
Mhm.
and some folk need to be googling to know what the job is of these positions.
That is correct.
Because I heard some answers to some questions, and I'm like, that's not really what the sheriff
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
So it's really important, that the proper and necessary research is being done on all of this, because when you are putting yourself in a position to represent our people, and that means our constituents, we want you to be putting your best foot forward.
That's right.
We
That's
want
right.
excellence. We have to have excellence. You can't come behind the winningest Black woman in the state of Georgia, Elaine Lucas, shucking and jiving
She
us,
just
because it ain't gonna work. I'm telling you right now. I don't even know who the candidates are running to replace you. But if you're gonna be coming up there talking for the East Side out loud, we're expecting you to go down there and be East Side out loud.
correct.
And if you haven't set up, if you're running for an office and you haven't set up some, especially for some of our folks who have decided not to run again or who have been termed out, regardless of whether it's school board or commission, if you haven't set up a mentoring session with the person who's going out so that you can be clear on what are the most pressing issues for that particular district or for that commission seat, that's your fault. because that's who you need to be checking in with, because you are actually getting a baton, because the race isn't given to the swift. It's given to the ones who endure and research and work and determination and integrity and character are the ways that we show our endurance. I'm sorry, sister.
But you know what some of this is about? There are some people, and there are some very good candidates running for office. So if you know you're a very good candidate, I'm not talking about you, so don't get mad.
Uh-oh.
But there are some people who are running who come and who ask for information, but what they want you to do is to set their campaign up, run it, and then let them take the seat without doing
Oh
the
no, that's not
necessary
how that
work.
works.
It does not work that
That's
way.
not how that works.
All these folks who are serving have stuff to do.
That's
And
right.
it is not running somebody else's campaign. Now I'm supporting Floyd Griffin. I'm going to work with his along with my son Lenny, who is putting out signs and doing all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to
Jeez.
support some folks, but I'm still in the commission
Yeah.
District 3
Yeah.
seat, and we are working on tying up all the loose ends and finishing up
Yeah.
the projects
Yeah.
that have gone unfinished. I'm going to be doing that, so I can't run somebody's
right.
campaign.
That's
But the two things that I tell anybody who comes to me, I say, I'm glad you're willing to put yourself out there and sacrifice, but check your background, check everything, and anything about you is going to be known.
Yeah.
If you put it down one time somewhere or
That's
somebody else did, it's going to come out. So
and that's
determine
right.
whether you
That's
want
right.
everything out there.
That's right.
And secondly, find out what this job is about. Find out how it
You have
was
to know what the
set
job
up,
is.
your requirements,
How much it pays?
how much it pays.
Are there any benefits?
Exactly.
When are the meetings?
Because it becomes full time, even though
When
it's
are the
part time.
meetings?
Exactly. And you got to be available.
You have to be
can't
available.
Just go when you want to. So those are the things that I
No, you
always
can't.
offer.
Because you supposed to be on, we're supposed to be taking attendance of your votes or what have you. You know?
Yeah, but if
But-
people aren't there, they can't.
That's right.
take it,
If you're that hello,
Mhm.
and I'm going to tell you, when I was, in political, in 100% political strategy world, the thing that people hired me the most for was opposition research.
Mhm.
And the first thing I went to look at was that attendance record.
Uh-huh.
Is your opponent,
Uh-huh.
showing up, to actually represent you, right?
Uh-huh.
That's a major question. And let me tell you something. We don't sit, because she didn't slip in her candidate, and so I'm just going to say this. I not from the Peach Power Pack is endorsing Phyllis Tufts Hightower for House District, for the new House District 149, and Commissioner Lucas and I, even though we are supporting different candidates, we don't fall out about it.
No.
We are going to both work as well. I won't be working nobody campaign, but the PAC will be working. But we are going to work, because at the end of the day, our North Star is Black excellence.
Mm-hmm.
For our communities. So we're not going to fall out about who wins or who loses, because we're still going to support whoever gets to that seat, because it's critical for East Macon. It's critical for Middle Georgia. It's critical for for Baldwin County.
Experience counts, and if you've not been seen before you ran, and you've not been seen after you ran, then that should be instructive for us.
Thank you,
as
Patrick
to who
Davis.
We support. Yeah, Patrick is our research
Patrick
person.
Patrick put the pack in there.
Yeah.
And actually, Patrick, your name came up because as part of our Peach Power Pack, we have something called the Fighting 50. And that's where we recruit people to run in deep rural areas,
Yeah.
in areas where the Republicans haven't had any opposition
Right.
for 10, 20 years. And so we find hard folks who love their communities, who are bold, progressive community leaders, to run against them. And the first thing they do is they run over there and tell David or
Uh-huh.
Sam Park or whatever. They be like, why y'all getting folk run against me?
I've
Well,
been
not,
good
these
to
folks,
y'all.
yeah, they don't own
I've been
anything.
good to
And
y'all.
let me tell you something. When it comes to this other side, you just can't think that Donald Trump is some person trying to get to DC, because what he's doing, this authoritarianism, how he feels about
That's right.
immigrants, how he feels about black folk, how he feels about women, it's in the party.
Right.
There's no more GOP unless you consider it to be the Grand Orange Party.
Mhm.
But his family has now taken over
Oh, of course.
the
and they go
Republican
spend
Party.
the money to pay his legal
Yeah,
fees.
so you have to understand that the GOP that we're dealing with now, these aren't the people like Bush and Reagan. This is a whole new group of insurrectionists and people who are trying to turn the clocks back on everything we have fought for. One of the reasons why I was a little tardy getting here is because, can you believe, I woke up Monday morning and these folks up here in the Georgia General Assembly, where Senator Lucas is, had new subs, and that means these are new little sub statements, new attachments to bills about our voting rights. They're still, every
They're still
session
working against
there
you.
are more bills about voting.
Yeah.
And so just like our brother Coroner said, we talk about this voting thing. I mean, you have to understand, anybody that doesn't want you to do something, anybody that's trying to stop you from doing something the way these people don't want
That's right.
black folk and young
That's
folk
right.
voting, there is a reason behind it. And that is because they are afraid of losing power.
Mhm.
They're already losing population.
Right.
Now,
It
but
scares
they're
them to
understanding
death.
that they're losing power.
Mhm.
And so the reason why we encourage y'all so much to vote is not because it's just something that we're passionate about. It's not because of the ancestor Congressman John Lewis said that there's a sacredness to the ballot because it was bought with people's blood, that there was bloodshed that gave us the ballot, but also because it's your power.
That's right.
It is your
Now-
individual power.
Now we have some dueling comments on here. We
Do
just
we?
want to welcome
Is it
all of
hot
you.
in the
Wait a
comment
minute, let me
section?
do this. We want to welcome all of you to Ask Elaine. This is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, with my sidekick today, none other
Hey.
than Kimberlyn Carter, the Executive Director of Rep Georgia. And we were able to get her here. We caught her here. Emma, y'all don't know how hard it is to catch her and to get her for an hour to come in with her vast experience. And we just want to thank her for being able to work that schedule and be here. We want to say hello to her mom and all of the Golden Girls who are listening
Yes.
in
Hey, my
or
goldies.
watching.
Hey, my goldies.
And we want to say, I mentioned the experience because I know that if you don't know your way around and you don't know basic stuff, you can't get to a higher plane. And so someone said that experience is not a thing that they look for because no one was born with experience. Well, when you're a little baby, you can't run for office, but when you get older, you can run. And I want to see some signs that you have concern and commitment to this community before you offer to run to represent me. And then if you lose and you were really committed to this community, why did you disappear? And you popped back up when the election came up. That's all I'm saying. That I just want you to, oh, folks say, show me some sign. And that So anyway,
Well,
just show
you
me
know,
a sign.
yeah.
And then Marianne Whippaloo, the former mayor of Gordon, is on with us, and welcome, Mayor Lou. She says she supports knowledge and experience,
Okay.
and she's saying that Floyd Griffin has been there as mayor of Milledgeville, and also as a former state senator, working very closely with Senator Lucas and others, and knows the ropes. So that's the dueling thing. But both things, two things can be true. These two things can be true, and they are certainly true. And we appreciate y'all wanting to have input into the conversation that we're having today.
Well,
This is
and
just
can
one.
and
Sharon
can
Wolfock, welcome to
hi
Ask Elaine.
Sharon.
Patrick, thank you so very much. Kimberlyn, I just before we end, this program goes by so
I
fast.
know.
We end up, we're here talking and there's no sound coming coming through. But I want to thank you for being willing to come on the program and share what you are finding out, because I know that you're going all over this country and you're getting information that we might not get until next week if you were not here sharing it with us. And next week is too late because all of these things are operational now. Teresa Southern, your sidekick, has been very complimentary, and she's talking about the candidates that we all have supported. And we've given campaign contributions. We're not rich, but campaigns don't run off air, y'all. And a lot of times, Black candidates and female candidates don't do as well because they can't get their message out, because y'all, frankly, give them $1 and then you think that that's going to buy some ads and some flyers and all of that. Well, give your $1, but dig deeper and give as much as you can, especially to these people that you know would be good if they get to the point of being an elected official. And so it's been my honor and privilege over these years to serve this community. And you are right, Kimberlyn. If somebody is elected to office and they're not doing right by the people who sent them there, I'm going to say it. I will say it to them, and I will say it to everybody else that will listen. Because I'm leaving office the end of December does not mean that I'm leaving Macon. I will still be actively involved in voter registration and getting out the vote, and trying to make sure that our kids are educated, that they get that extra help that they need to complete that high school diploma. And all of you need to be doing just that. But there's a water board seat that Anissa Jones is leaving.
That's going to be a special, right?
Hey, it's going to be probably on the November ballot
Okay.
to fill her
Okay.
unexpired term. I think she has 2
Because
more years. So
the reason why I was saying, because there's because in terms of how the Secretary of State he has different dates.
Yeah.
There's a June runoff date that's coming.
Right.
I'm just saying if it has to be.
Yeah, we'll see. But I absolutely am not going to leave the commission. Not now. I've got almost a year left on the commission, and I do plan to represent my folks.
Well, make sure you still
get those projects.
Make sure you
completed.
Still living in the district. I don't need to come over there and take a picture.
In the district.
I don't need to come over there and take a picture of you at your mailbox.
Hey, I read the rules.
Okay, I'm just checking. I don't know if I need to take a picture of you at your mailbox.
No, they don't need to take it.
but I did want to.
Assured I'm in place. But, Kim, we're going to get back to your discussion because we know you've got some more information.
Yeah,
to share.
I just
welcome everybody to Ask Elaine.
Yes,
Go ahead,
welcome,
Kim.
welcome. I just wanted to say just something on the experience side too, because this happens a lot of times, especially to women candidates and to young candidates, that they don't have experience and things of that nature. And so what we do now is we look at experience in different ways and in different things.
Yeah.
So let's say if you're a young person, you're 30 something years old and you're running for office, Were you active on your campus? Did you do student
Exactly.
organizing on your campus? Were you in the YPD at your church? Do were you in the Boy Scouts and all this kind of thing? I mean, there are different ways for us to look at to look at people's experience and participation in community. But there definitely has to at least appear to be, for people seeking public office, a desire to do work in community. And I agree with her, that's not fleeting, that's something that is actually
Right,
substantial,
right.
that the community actually recognizes.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to also share this with all of you, and that is, we have some situations going on up here in Atlanta under this gold dome
Oh,
that
yeah.
are just literally unbelievable. About a month ago, I was a Black History speaker at my church, St. James Emmy Church in Bloomfield, Field, baby, where I'm a sixth generation member. And in my speech, I talked about how 16 states in our nation had already adopted policies to restrict, delete,
Right.
or
Oh,
deter the teaching of Black history
oh, okay.
in our schools, to ban books that are written by some of our most famous authors, like Bell Hooks, Toni Morrison, Alice Walker, Langston Hughes, so forth and so on. And so all of these things are attempts to erase us. To erase our history is to erase us as a people. Well, as of this week, it's 18 of them. And even up here in our very own General Assembly, these folks are trying to restrict every time your child comes to check out a certain book, and a lot of these books
Yeah.
are written by
Yeah.
Black authors.
Yeah.
They said they want to call a parent. So, I mean, just all of these, types of things. Reducing our early voting to 2 weeks.
Right.
Taking 2 weeks away from our early voting
And
time.
did you notice
Adding,
they moved the blue mail boxes?
they want to
out,
get rid of that completely.
so you can't
They want to get rid of that
early
completely.
vote.
Years ago, before when we used to do absentee voting, when I was away in college, you had to have a reason to get an absentee ballot. I mean, and it had to be proof, or you had to have my parents had to have a transcript or something from the university saying that I literally was away from Georgia. And so we changed it to no excuse absentee voting.
Right.
You want to vote by mail, if you want to vote by absentee, that is fully your choice as a voter. These folk want to turn that around. That now you have to have a documented excuse to be able to vote by mail or to do absentee voting. They're trying to do everything possible to make it difficult for us to be able to exercise the franchise. They also have a Senate Bill 63 up there, where they're trying to end our ability to help folks with cash bail. So daddy go down there and get locked up, and they're trying to limit our ability to use the assistance of another organization or someone outside of a bail bondman to help us to be able to get our folks. It's just a literal nightmare.
Yeah.
Because we have flipped so many district attorney seats with amazing Black women DAs like Fani, Shalina Jones down in Savannah, our very own Anita Reynolds Howard. We're so glad that she worked so hard. They couldn't even find nobody to.
They tried.
She worked so hard.
Everybody
They couldn't even find nobody because she worked so hard. Right.
Yeah.
Anita Reynolds Howard, Fani, our sister Delia Racine, who is in Douglas County, our sister, Black woman up in Gwinnett County. We got, and then we also have amazing people at Cobb County. Floyd is, I can't, his name escapes me right now. But and then we have Deborah Gonzalez up in Athens, the first Latina district attorney in our state. And so these folks are still up there trying to figure out ways for how the General Assembly or state legislators can create councils to remove
Yeah.
DAs from office. So let's say Anita Reynolds Howard, our DA, does something that they don't like all of a sudden, that the power structure maybe here doesn't like. So since we can't get rid of her through the votes of the citizens who put her there, we're going to let a separate commission remove her. And so these are the things, these are the things that our people have to deal with, and very specifically Black women have
Yeah.
to deal with on
Yeah.
a very, very consistent basis.
Yeah.
Many of us have said a lot of prayers for Commissioner Lucas, because we have watched these people for ever since I was, a little girl, and not even that little as a little girl, watched how she has been demonized. Anything she said, before, when we actually had a newspaper, and I'm glad that fish wrapper is gone anyway. They even did cartoons of you a few times.
I remember.
I mean, just very racist depictions of her as a Black woman. We should never forget these things.
Yes. Yeah.
Never forget these things. And that is why it is so important for us to show up and exercise our vote.
That's
and
right.
let these folks know that they can't play in our faces, that we stand on business about our people and about our communities.
But guess what? There are some folks out there who are talking about voting for Trump. Black folks.
Yeah.
Some young ones. I had a little, I met a cousin of mine who's working on a family reunion on Ellabelle's side. And we had a discussion, and I tried my best not to get mad. But my sister Nita was in the room at the same time. She had to leave. She said, I'm going to exit stage right, because she got so infuriated with him, because he was there talking about that the reason that young Black men are talking about voting for Trump is because he sent them the stimulus check. And of course, we were there saying the Democrats approved the stimulus. Trump held it up so that he could send a letter and sign his name to it, so people would think that it was his doing. And this is what this young man told me was the reason, because they had gotten a stimulus check from Trump. And you just say, what in the, what? And then you hear of Hispanics whose numbers are shifting in some places toward supporting the Republicans and Trump. And you say, did you hear last week when what did he call them last week? Well, animals, and said that blood or something.
Bad blood or something, a bloodbath or something.
Yeah. And over in Texas, that Abbott over there, he's in a wheelchair, but he's one of the most evil people I know, including Trump. But they have passed a law that the police could arrest somebody on the suspicion.
That's right.
That they're illegal.
Right.
And some of these folks are talking about shifting their support to Trump, who is talking about cutting off your Social Security, talking about letting insurrectionists out of jail.
Not our people that's been in there.
Not our folks now that's been in there for years and years and years. One man I saw the other
white
day
folk that tore up the
was
Capitol.
15 when he went in jail. He was 83. And they were asking him, would you want to get out of jail? He said, yeah. And they asked him, well, what would you do? He had no clue. This man's been in jail since he was 15 years old on the suspicion of rape.
Right.
The suspicion of rape.
That's right.
And so we have the nerve to disgrace Dr. King, Fannie Lou Hamer, all of these folks who got literally attacked and killed for us.
everybody that tells me that stimulus check stuff, I'd be like, well, do you still have the money now?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
No, I'm saying, I'm saying, I mean,
And how
when
much
people are
did you
telling me
get?
about the stimmies, I'm like, well, do you still have it now?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Because because what I do know for sure is that the things that Joe Biden, as the president administration, has been able to drop down here on us, I can
Uh-huh.
see that now.
Uh-huh.
I can feel that now.
Look at
But
all
but
of
the but the
this.
STEMI check, and that's our fault because we just haven't done a good enough job with teaching basic civics,
No.
because we know that the president does not hold the nation's checkbook.
Right.
Congress holds the nation's
Right.
checkbook.
Right.
So if it's anybody that folks ought to be thanking for their STEMI check, it's the octogenarian
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi,
Nancy.
the best speaker of the House this nation has ever seen,
Yeah.
until Hakeem Jeffries becomes the next speaker of the House.
Absolutely.
And at this rate, it may be by my birthday on July the 1st,
look.
as they keep losing folks over there in Congress.
Amen.
On the
Amen.
GOP side.
Just keep on.
You know, and let me just, and I just want to say this real quick too, because I get tired of hearing about that stimulus check too, because I ask everybody, if
It's
you still have
sickening.
it, if you still have it, then
Now, folks
maybe he
like
did
you
something.
and me and older folks like, well, you're not old, but folks like me, we put it in the bank.
Yeah, I mean,
These
these,
other
yeah,
folks went
yeah,
to
they,
Walmart.
yeah.
There were no big
And I'm
screen
like, I was
TVs.
like, do you want the reason for why we got the stimulus check back? 1 million black folks died from coronavirus. I
Oh
mean, are you
yeah,
really serious from a
it
man that
was
didn't even
mostly
care?
us.
And also, by the way, Joe Biden's stimmy was bigger than Trump's. But just want to just also, you know, as you were saying that, it just really made me think about how we just have to be really, really careful and cognizant of the times that we are in, and the jokes that these people are really, really trying, trying to play on us.
Right.
Like all this stuff about Joe Biden's age. Let me just say this in my last little couple of minutes here. The issue that this
All right,
country
Randy Crawford.
has
Uh-huh.
has nothing to do with Joe Biden's age. It has everything to do with Kamala Harris's color. Okay,
Absolutely.
so let's be very, very clear.
She's
Ain't
number
no,
two.
cause in this country, ain't nobody never been mad about no old white man. That's
No.
why Santa Claus is an old
No.
white man. So let's just really move on and be very clear. It's not about his age. It's about Kamala Harris's color.
Right.
And
if
gender.
something happens
And
to
gender.
him,
That's right. And
who
so
becomes president?
that's right. And so let me just tell you, if Joe decides, when Joe wins in November,
Right.
and after 6
With
months,
your vote.
and he decides to resign, then Kamala becomes the first black woman president. And guess who becomes the vice president in the succession of the order? Speaker Hakeem Jeffries. Hello, a black president. So y'all better vote in November, because we're getting ready to black out the White House,
Let's vote.
because it's already located right now, currently
That's
at
right.
1600 Black Lives Matter Place.
That's right. If you aren't registered, you can't vote. That's a fact. If you are not registered, you cannot vote. If you have had some infractions in the past and you thought you couldn't
I have something for you
register,
on that.
please, please, please check it out. Check with us.
Yeah.
And we can maybe help you to get to that point where you can realize that you are eligible to register to vote. So let's do this thing. Hey, Jawan.
Is that Jawan who? Jawan Jackson?
Jawan
Hi,
Jackson running for state rep.
Jawan Jackson.
And Patrick has posted Make a Water Authority and the board members and what needs. And you better believe if I run for that, I'm gonna know what I need to do.
I
all
hope you
that's
go down there.
important.
I believe water should be free. I'm like the Native
I
Americans.
think it should be as well, but
And definitely free to people over
That's
70.
look, we have a listing of all of the candidates that are going to be on the ballot
Oh,
here
wow.
in Macon-Bibb County, from the federal, the state.
I got to
and
come
the
back. I
county.
got to come back.
Yes, Kim, you do.
Because we didn't even get a chance to go over the offices.
We didn't. But if you want a copy of this, stop by EL High School Academy. We'll be glad to provide you. And then on Saturday, want you to come to the Sports Hall of Fame at 12 noon. My son Lenny, Senator Lucas, and I will be hosting a meet and greet for former Senator Floyd Griffin.
I may still show up, and so y'all gonna have some cake over there.
We will have food. And you'll enjoy meeting the former senator and former mayor and get to meet some of the other folks who are supporting him. That's 12 noon at the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame, right across from the Tubman Museum. 12 noon on Saturday. Free food. Your lunch will be provided. Our special guest today has been none other than our fearless friend, Kimberlyn Carter, and we appreciate you and all those who've tuned in with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
We'll see you again next Wednesday at 3 p.m.
And
for another edition.
And tell them to go spend some cherry blossom money.
Yeah, cherry blossom. You're paying for it now. Remember that. So go enjoy it. Thank you.
Connecting the community through gospel.
The new 107.9 FM, W300EB.
Macon and WDDO 980 AM,
Perry.
Macon.